Welcome one and all. We are here to ask and answer one simple question. What about VRising? Well, what about it? VRising is a open world survival game based on vampires by the development studio Stunlock, which was created in 2010. Other titles by them were Battlerite, Bloodline Champions, and Battlerite Royale. Also on the webpage, there are some ideas for more games which we don't have much information other than the obvious. To what game does VRising most compare themselves to? Well, it's often referred to as Vampime, like a version of Valheim with vampires, which is a good comparison. You have a top-down, mostly isometric view. It's an open camera, so it's not really isometric. You're not bound to a 45-degree angle. But yeah, it's top-down, not really third-person view. And also the other thing you can most likely compare to would be Conan Exiles from the gameplay, which you will soon see. Now first, let's jump into the options. What do we have? We have our normal generals, we got our languages, we got Portuguese, English, French, German. I guess this would either be, I think that's Japanese and Espanol. You can skip the intro cinematic, it's nice to have a button for it and not need a mode. You can automatically allow your friends over Steam to join with the join game button. Steam Rich Presence enabled. I got no clue what this does. Console enabled. If you host your own server and you are the admin, you probably need the console. Streamer mode, that I don't know, never tested it. I don't really care about it. I'm not a streamer, I don't have that time. Show global chats, it's the chat down left. If anyone writes something, it automatically pops up. If you disable this, you have to hit enter or whatever is your chat key to see anything. Chat size, very good. Timestamp. The timestamp is bound not to your local PC time, but to the server time. So if you're playing on a server in another time zone, keep that in mind that you don't normally just have missed a message 4 hours ago. It just might be that wherever the server stands, it was 5 minutes ago, but they are at +5, -5, what have you. Now, privacy. Do I want to send my data? No. Controls. This game plays like a twin-stick shooter, but you have no access to a twin-stick. And I think they had definitely controllers in mind when they designed the games. It's just 4 powers, and the way it plays, you will soon see it's a twin-stick shooter, mostly. And I'm pretty sure there will be controller support, because it would be really nice to just lay back, play this game. It could be played amazingly on a large television-like screen and have fun. Now, graphics option. You have your normal presets, windowed mode, brightness, everything you need, ambient occlusion, shadows, anti-aliasing. And the most important button, remove the depth of motion blur, because no one wants motion blur. You even have cloth quality. This is just how much the bits and bobs of your scarf and whatever dangles from your armor wobbles around. It also affects, I think, your hair. How much it is wobbles and flies around. Sound, everything you need. There is a in-game voice chat which can be push to talk, which would be probably preferable. Auto join, stop it, because if you're on a public server, the last thing you want to do is have some 6-year-old who get his big brother's computer in his hands and start screaming in your ear, or someone who thinks it's a great idea to, you know, munch down on some crisps while wearing his headset. That about does it for the options. Let's play. You got your normal online play where you play on servers and multiplayer. This is probably the most fun way to play it, but only if you are actually interested in social interactions. If you play solo, don't play solo on an online game. If you want to play solo, and you can play this as a solo game, you will go over here, private game, host your own world. It will be, at the moment, locally hosted by your PC. It will play server in the background and client and connect to it. They have said they will implement a real offline mode, because even for the private game on your PC, you're always forced to a always online modus, and even your privately hosted server that's only for you, even if you activate solo options in the option menu, which I'll show you directly, it will register as a server on their online platform, and there's a lot of servers. Let's just go for a quick PvP. This is just a first find server. You can display and say, show me all, show me everything, show me all the servers. This now is any and with every latency, which means there's 1,755 servers currently up. They are in all regions of the world with all different of activities. Some even have unlocked for more players. The baseline is now 40. I think that's what the developers found out to be the most stable experience for the game right now, because it's still in development and there are still some, well, bugs and what was the word? I forgot. Optimizations to do. Now we jump into a private game. It's called Piero's World because, well, I'm Piero's. Game settings, select rule set. You can have your standard rule set, and I have something that I saved, which is called broken. Let's just load it in clan size. How many members can be in one clan? Just your basic slider. You can have up to 20 or only every person stands alone. Clan actually shares progression in the game, so it's very important. If you have more people in your friend list or people who want to play with you, then you need a large clan size. Now it's a LAN server, solely online play, only solo play. How many people can connect to you? Because even if you are locally hosted, you can invite up to 59 friends if your PC can handle it. Or rather, the server configuration. Advanced game setting. Now, this is what I mean. The local system time. If it's set to local system time, it will display in the chat whatever is the local time for the server. Not for you, but in solo play, so it would be the of your system. Who can loot your body? Only yourself, anyone that's the open PvP, or your clan members can, you know, scrape up your ashes, sift through what's useful, and bring it to you, so you don't have to run back into, maybe it's a dungeon, maybe it took so long that the entrance has respawned and you can just run in and join your friends. Now, the soul shards, those are the endgame items all the world will be fighting over. There can either be plentiful, which means as soon as one is taken, another one will respawn, or it will be unique, which will cause the warring clans to, well, the rivaling clans to war over it. You have your garlic strength multiplier. This is for, I just set it to 0 again. 5 times means it's 5 times as punishing, because if you're a vampire. So your weaknesses are, of course, garlic, silver, sunlight. You can cross bridges, so yay for that. You're not stopped by running water. Although the game doesn't really have running water. You have deep chasms, and probably for lore reasons they decided, you know what, let's not go down the route with all the water. Garlic strength, silver, you get debuffs and even take damage. Sun strength multiplier, the longer you're in the sun, you start to, well, first you smolder and then you burn up. Now, since this is a very grindy game, if you're playing solo, here's the most important part, items. Item stack multiplier times 5. You don't want to run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The other options would be to teleport bound items. There's a teleporting fast travel system in the game. The normal settings are teleport bound items are not allowed. Everything that's a resource, that's not a consumable or a weapon, will be banned from teleporting. So if you have a bushel of grass, a stick of wood from a tree in your inventory, it says, yeah, no, not that one. That's not allowed to fly. It's like airport security finding you got the nail clipper of doom in your backpack and knows you're gonna hijack the entire plane and destroy the world with it. You know, MacGyver style. Loot multiplier, you can send your servants out to harvest items for you, so you don't always have to grind yourself. If there are areas you just don't like, you can send your servants down and get him some back, or even just to supplement your own grinding, harvesting. Now for the castle. Your castle needs to be supported because it's an always online entertainment, and if you stop playing, you don't want the environment ruined by your old bricked up castle that you no longer use. So your castle will decay and fall apart if you don't take care of it. Your clan members can take care of your castle, so as long as, if you're on your holidays for 2 weeks or even 3 weeks, your clan members can go to your castle and fill it up with blood essence and keep it from crumbling into dust like a vampire on the noonlight sun. How many servants you can have, that's all bound to the max tier of the castle, how big the castle can be. Most servers have kind of like house rules, how many tier 4 castles you can build, because tier 4 castles are very big. They are multi-person. They're not really meant for just one person alone, and certainly not one person building 2 or 3. There is a limit of how many castles one person can have. That's here the castle hard limitation. Ooh, and there's a lot of talking about vermin nest. That's just your food and blood growing. Tomb limitation. That's also some resource gathering thingamajigs. Lockbox limitations. Those lockboxes cannot be looted by any other player. So those are your secure bank vaults, if you will. Normally you have 1 and you can build up to 20 if you allow it. On your solo online offline playing world, it really doesn't matter. Now, for the build cost, multiplayer for building and crafting. It's a multiplayer, so times 0 means everything is free. That would be, it's sandbox mode. Pretty much everything I sent, it was sandbox mode. That's why we are in Swedish summer. Of course, the developer is Swedish, so that's why we got Swedish summer and Swedish winter for maximum nighttime. Where probably there's a 50-second sun timer or something. Now you can convert, refine all your products. You speed it up, slow it down, and you can really personalize your experience. Now, for this, if you're playing solo, I suggest you at least double everything here. So you're basically 2 players instead of 1. 2 players can beat most of the bosses if they got the right equipment. If you want an easier time playing the enemy, you go to 3 or even up to 5. That would be, you take as much damage as 5 players. However, things like the health multiplier you have to take in mind. Normally, if you get one of your friends down, you are also down 1 power. However, since you only got 1 health bar, you are still at full power even if you only have 10% of your health left. Which means probably just, stick at about 4. Blood drain rate, those I think, how quickly you lose blood. So this will probably be taken down a notch, so you can cast more before you have to drink again, or at least leave it at 1. So if you do this at 5, you're probably, getting quite thirsty. There is a durability system with the equipment. This is the health. Always resource yield multiplier probably goes up, so you don't have to run as much back and forth as you need. So you can still have a nice experience of the game without just, without just grinding away for hours on end on a single player experience, which is not really fun. I have a friend of mine who played this game for about 2 weeks now. He's got about 80-90 hours in the game, and he plays it more or less solo. He helped me quite a lot to get this all together, to know what I'm doing, and I'd say it's a horrible experience alone. You gotta be a real masochist to do this. That's real maso mode here. Now, down the progression, you can choose your starting equipment, nothing, which is normal, or everything, and supplies and everything, and how much bosses. Is the boss already unlocked? Is it already killed? You can adjust their level to maybe enable you to kill them sooner, make them weaker, whatever you have. There's the research tiers, which you can already have or not, and there's the journal. Journal is the questline system, and you can already choose which. They also, all quests unlock certain crafting abilities or blueprints, rather. So you can already give you everything. Right. Saving, starting the game. Now, why did this game explode so much? Sorry, I'm talking so much. It's the first impression. There is a real nice cutscene right at the beginning. And now I'm gonna take a cut because I want to tell you, or maybe not. Seems to be starting up quite well. It's a character editor. The character creation screen is what I meant. Sorry about this. Yammering on, it's already 15 minutes going way too long. This one. This here is what makes the first impression, and it's an amazing one. First I thought I had a kind of a bug because I'm playing on an ultra wide screen and I had it in window mode pushed together, and that's why I thought, ooh, normally this doesn't look like this, but no, that's just the normal male type. It's extra broad neck. You got every skin tone from normal to anime, pink, dark elf, what have you. You got enough eye colors to, float your boat, whatever you want. You got a nice variety of faces, special ones, pumpkin, beaver, frontly, skull. You got everything. And then we got the hairstyles. Every trope you can ask. We have the Janeway. We have the... where is it? Well, we're definitely at the Geralt of Rivia. The Hinata Hyuga. We got our Sephiroth somewhere. We got the Wiggly Horns. The Golem. Yeah. Misa thinking great games. And we got some accessories, which also include the Van Helsing goggles. So yeah, you can see why everybody who is a little bit into pop culture would just, especially the streamers which gave this a lot of, crowd credit. They said, oh great, that's the next big thing, people will love it. And that's kind of like art. If those who are already famous say, oh that's good, everybody else just runs after it and says, oh that's good as well. And in this case, yeah, this game is good, it has its problems, it's still in development. And you really gotta know what type of game this is, so you know if it's a game for you. Just play. Now, what this game really is a grind fest. There's not much in the way of storyline. It's pretty much all in the intro. This was once a world where you, as vampires, ruled. And then you got thrown down. However, you survived in this lovely little crypt, and for some reason or another, you returned. Now we got every little bit of equipment. We got it even upgraded. We got a bit of gold jewelry, some scales, some dust in case you want to repair something. Because from time to time you need to repair. Oh, there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is high-end. There's the normal resources and the real rare stuff from the high-end areas like gold. Then you can do some crafting. Let's see if you can pick up the build menu. Yeah, you can build your every type of floor. Everything is unlocked from the cosmetics, other than things that need to be unlocked by killing the enemy, which gives you also unlocked sometimes powers like turning into a wolf. Sometimes it's crafting benches and recipes. This is the day and night clock. So yeah, we got one, that's the Swedish summer. You got 1 day of sun and the rest is down. Yeah. Collect bones. That's now bone ring will be unlocked next as soon as I slay 3 enemies with my sword. They will know the power of... oh, map's not available. There is no running in the game other than the occasional dash, which is also one of your abilities. And as you can see, you always look towards your mouse. That's why I think it's a twin stick shooter. You got WASD for movement, and then you got you in the direction you point your mouse cursor, you hit. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's take this one. Wherever you shoot, and then you have your circle for your build. It's pretty much you could play this amazingly with a controller because of the amount of skills you actually have, the right triggers, left triggers, and you can always have your... I mean, this even is a wheel of your special powers, so... yeah, now we're on the outside, and we're in the sun. Normally, there's the sun. If I were to stand here, I would start to smolder. However, since I set it to Sun multiplier 0, I can run through the sun without any problems with my little green Van Helsing golem. Map is still not available. Well, that's a bit annoying. Now, is this game something for you? This is everything. You now see the whole game. You run around, kill things, you harvest resources by either chopping down woods or collecting trees or chopping down tombstones, what have you. This is it. There is currently no quest line other than the unlock quest system, which is the journal. There may be something coming, I don't know. If it does, great. If not, this is the game you will play. You will play it until you're satisfied, got everything unlocked probably, and got the castle of your dreams. Thanks to the single player modifiers, you can put the settings you can set. You can go into sandbox mode and just build till your heart's content, be happy and stop it, and maybe from time to time go online and play with your friends and do what I did, mooch off their progress. Is it a good game? I think yes, it does what it wants to do quite well. Let's jump down on a rat for a little bit of extra blood. However, I get weak blood type Ray, which does not give any bonus. It is, however, very grindy. So if you play only with your friends and you say, yeah, we make our own server, we can, I don't know how save game shared saves work, if it's kind of like Icarus, where the save game is placed on a server and whoever loads in first creates the world and plays the server for all your friends. Or if it's something that's stored locally and you had to, you know, send it via email or FTP, torrent, whatever you're using for file transfer. It would be a bit annoying, but if, I don't know, maybe you're just playing alone and sometimes a friend comes help you, set the settings for solo play and enjoy what the world has to offer. It has a lot. Alright, welcome to the castle of Wenzel the Lazy. That's the guy who had about 90 hours and which I've been mooching off because I'm barely 10 hours into the game and I'm already level 61. Your level is determined by your equipment. Now, let's have a look. This is the world of Valderon. You start down low, either left or right Vampire Waygate with, well, that's where you come out of your resurrection crypts. The area has a nice marking system, which is a really good plus, which shows you what type of resources can be found in what areas. It doesn't really show you the level of enemies you will encounter, but it tells you where you find something. But something like Bandit Camp is pretty much self-explanatory. The same as a copper mine will have humans, a cemetery will have undeads, and up here a haunted iron mine will probably have undeads, while the monastery has clerics, priests, and what have you. And up here in the swampy area of the forest, of the cursed forest, you will have, well, cursed creatures. There's a whole area over here that, as far as I know, is not yet in the game, but it will come. Kinda like probably goes on up to level 100. These are the Silverlight Hills. That's where the only bit of silver is and where the most human high culture is, because, well, they needed to defend against the horrors of the woods, the undead, because this is a undead vampire paradise. No silver. I think one or two little stones can spawn randomly, very rarely, but mostly it's all here, and that's why they built their paladin holy culture around there. You can send your servants off to these areas to get some more resources for you, or you can do it yourself. Later on, you can go through these caves as a sort of one-way transport system. Other than that, you got these vampire gates, which, however, stop you teleporting as soon as you got anything with you that counts as a resources. Those are bound items, which means they can teleport with you. However, these blood essence, for simple, it doesn't say it. You need to be at a teleporter. Here you can turn into animals. You can turn into a wolf, a bear, or a rat. Now let's see. There's a teleporter which you can build your own. There's some in the world, but later on you can build your own. Is blood essence allowed to travel? Yeah, it is. If Let's just... Give me some wood. Now we have lumber in our inventory. Cannot be teleported. There it is. You cannot teleport with this. Get your red warning. And no way, Jose, you don't get anywhere. If this is the type of game you want to play, play it. It can be fun. It's not really for me in the base settings. I say to you, it's too much grind. I enjoy a nice progression. But I think I will probably play it once offline, once it's finished, with, you know, all the modifiers that allow me a good progression. It's what I did with Early Accses. I played it online with a few friends, but then got annoyed after I had to put in hundreds and hundreds of hours because I'm too old for that shit. Sorry about the cursing. I'm too old for that stuff. And I just can't be bothered with playing the same thing. I mean, it's the same repetitive gameplay loop, and if it's too much repetition, it's horrible. If you want to play it as a let's play, don't. If you want to play it as a streamer, it's an amazing game for streaming. Because you have a lot of repetition, you have a lot of free time of looking at the other screen, chatting with your audience, maybe just opening up a server, messing around with them, because then you have a way easier time because everybody wants to help you and everybody tries to destroy the enemies with you, which will then be very, very easy because you can just, you know, swarm the enemy, and even if 30 people die, who cares? There's 30 others, and once the enemy has been slain and the unlock has been done, well, it's, you know, resurrecting time. Share a bit of your blood with your friends, and everything is hunky-dory. This now concludes the what about section. Turned out to be quite the long video. Didn't expect it to go on that long. But there was a lot to talk about, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helps you to decide whether or not to play or just leave it lying by the side and wait for something else. If you enjoyed, well, please leave a like, comment, tell me how bad I am with speaking, and stay safe with bye-bye.